we're not really looking at illness. We're looking at creating a sense in the individuals where they're motivated to take care of their mental health and well-being, take more proactive measures and not wait for something big to happen.
Welcome to Creating Wellness Moments, the podcast where we dive into the depths of the human psyche, self-discovery, and personal growth. I'm Calvin Wong, your host and fellow explorer on this journey towards mental well-being. Join me as we uncover inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical tips to cultivate a healthier and happier life. Get ready to embark on a transformative experience, one episode at a time. Let's create wellness moments together. Hello and welcome to Creating Wellness Moments. Joining us today is Shruti Verma, a seasoned practitioner with over 8 years of experience in the mental health and wellness. She's a registered practitioner underneath the Singapore Association of Counsellors as well as Association of Psychotherapists and Counsellors in Singapore. And she holds a Master in Counselling and Guidance from NTU Singapore, along with Mindfulness Trainings from SMU Singapore and Oxford Mindfulness Foundation UK. And she's also a certified UNESCO-CID Expressive Arts-based Therapist from Fortis Healthcare, India. With a belief that wellness is a state of complete harmony of the mind, body, and spirit, Shruti assists her clients using a person-centered approach, mindfulness cognitive therapy, expressive arts-based therapy, and finally, solution-based brief therapy. Her journey as a mental health and well-being specialist led her to collaborate with organizations such as MOE, Health Board Promotion Board, Singapore Polytechnic, and many others that I cannot list, unfortunately. So right now, she's a key associate therapist at Spring Health USA, providing expertise to their Singapore corporate clients. So thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Calvin. It's a pleasure to be on this show.
So I appreciate you being here, and it's quite a journey that you've had so far. Are you able to share a little bit about your history and how you come to where you are today?
For sure. The mental health and well-being is something that you really need to be passionate about to take up as a career. And it's not like you're kind of born with it. You have your own personal experiences in life and, seeing closed ones that kind of struggled with mental health issues, and then there was no help. So that's where my journey began. And it started with, I think it started back in high school when I saw a lot of my friends struggling with a lot of mental health issues, myself struggling with anxiety and not so much of support being there. So that's where that seed kind of got implanted, and then it just one thing led to another. Initially, it was in the social sector, working in the NGOs, right from college days, and then finally coming down to working with kids. So I started my journey as a Montessori and early childhood practitioner, wherein I realized that a lot of issues that one faces in their adolescent life, or let's say in the early 20s, has the root cause in the early years. So that's when I really kind of decided that, I want to go ahead and become a psychotherapist and be trained in this area. And when I first started off, I started off with the young ones, I would say, the school-going kids. So I worked with MOE during my master's as my practicum attachments, and then from there on, I went on to working with the different age groups as my own age progressed, and I felt that I'm equipped to handle the issues that are there at different stages of life. So that's how my journey began, and I am where I am. And along the way, I've had the opportunity to work with, like I said, starting with the young ones, to adolescent, to young adults. And now a lot of my clients, which are from the corporates, are the middle-aged individuals. So I've had the whole range of age group that I've worked with in the last 8 years.
Wow, it's quite a journey, and I'm sure along with your journey, it kind of shifted with your experience and your own personal journey in life. And so you found that, your current experience will be able to resonate more with the clients that you work with today.
Yeah. So, but the I would say, and then along the way, somewhere in 2016, a wellness curator, my brand, came into existence, and the vision for it was to create happy and healthy minds, and the mission of the organization is to make mental health and well-being accessible to all, irrespective of age, caste, or anything, for that matter, be it people who are marginalized or who are fortunate. It should be made accessible to all. So we have a lot of community outreach programs to support the community, along with providing one-on-one counseling. And for counseling as well, it's what we offer is a sliding scale based on what's the capacity of the individual, and then go about helping as much as we can.
Yeah, that's quite an extensive service offering that you have, and we could touch a little bit more about that later. From my understanding, you also do a little bit more of the employee assistance program work, where you help the corporate world shape essentially their employees to have better well-being, and in turn they would get better productivity and happier employees. Is that correct?
Yes. So, like I said, our mission is to make mental health and well-being accessible to all and people from all walks of life. And if you come to think of it, people, individuals spend maximum time at their workplaces, especially their adult life, up till their senior years. So we are spending maximum amount of time at work. And how is it even possible to segregate the work from life or life from work for that age group? So it has to be integrated into the workplaces, and a lot of work has started to be seen in the corporate world, where bigger corporates, giants like Google, Facebook, they are prioritizing mental health and well-being of their employees at workplace. So it's not something that the employees go back home and then take out time to take care of their mental health and well-being. It's being incorporated. And one such organization is Spring Health, for whom I am the key service provider in the Singapore region. And the shift has started to happen, wherein the organizations are providing free therapy sessions to their employees, and also giving them time during their work hours to schedule the appointments and take that time off to take care of their mental health and well-being. And when we talk about mental health, it's no longer the illness model. It's a lot to do about the wellness, taking the preventive mental health care approach. And that's what the organizations are now prioritizing. And as wellness curators, the brand name being wellness, so we're not really looking at illness, we're looking at creating a sense in the individuals where they're motivated to take care of their mental health and well-being, take more proactive measures, and not wait for something big to happen for them to start taking the steps.
Yeah, it's great to hear that Spring Health and yourself are taking the initiative to be the change makers in order to see the beneficial of early intervention and just overall wellness, so we could prevent any kind of crisis from happening. So So in terms of that, you did talk a little bit about mindfulness, and I think there's some exercises that we could all learn from. Is there particular ones that you like doing that we're able to do quickly, not only at work, but at home as well?
Yes, so mindfulness at workplace again is gaining a lot of popularity, and not just because it's a cool word, but because the research has kind of shown the benefits that it has from people who are recovering from depression to people who are healthy and are productive, high achievers, and holding high positions in corporate, and how they're using that to make themselves even more productive and effective at workplace. So, like I said, the good examples I can give is that Google and Facebook, they do have like mindfulness coaches at workplace, and they have like separate areas where people can just go and practice mindfulness. And when we say mindfulness, the first thing that comes to our mind is taking some time out, going on the Himalayas and doing, meditating for hours and hours together. But that's not mindfulness, is what it's all about. So something as simple as 3 minutes mindfulness practice, which is the most basic, or I would say the starter when you're moving into the mindfulness area, is the 3 minute breathing space. And that's also very effective for, I would say, anybody, but in particular for people who are extremely busy with their work lives, they're in back-to-back meetings, and they're moving from one to another. It's literally like jumping from one task to another. So just taking about 3 minutes in between to check in with yourself brings back that focus and centered and calmness that you need for your next meeting. So it's a very good transitional practice. Like you can use it to transition from one activity to another. And if you'd be open to trying it, we can try it all together right now. And you don't need anything for this. You just need your presence and the intention to really check in with yourself. So, and again, typically you would associate closing eyes with a mindfulness practice, but for this one, you are even open. You're even free to keep your eyes open. So, just bringing your attention to the here and now, and to do that, if you feel you want to close your eyes, you may do so. If not, you can just focus at a point in front of you and just taking a deep, long breath in and exhaling at your own pace. Once again, just taking another long, deep breath in and out. Now just bring your attention to your natural flow of breath, observing how the breath is moving through your nostrils as you inhale and you exhale. You may notice some thoughts popping up. Let the mind do what it's best at doing, which is to bring in some thoughts and chatter. But try and bring your focus back to your breath every time you see yourself being carried away with your thoughts. Next, just take your attention to the base of your feet, the soles of your feet. Noticing how it is coming in contact with the surface below. Now noticing all the points in your body that is touching the surface below you. That is the chair, how you're seated in this chair, how your back is supported by the chair. And finally, noticing your hands. How are they resting on your body? Now, very slowly and gently, observing the environment around you, the space in which your body is seated, and observing your body and the space around you as a whole. And now, very gently opening your eyes. So just 3 minutes, how did that feel, Kelvin?
That was really great. It was quite refreshing, actually. So my experience, I would say, is I'm very in touch with your own body, and you could feel like every part of your body. And it's a strange feeling because we're so quick in our world today, and we don't really take the time to acknowledge the senses that we have throughout our whole body, and just be able to take that break and really get a sense of your full self in it is great.
Yeah, just using your own body and your breath as a vehicle to ground yourself in the present moment is what this practice does. And I'm sure, we all know this, that the more present we are in the present moment, we are most productive and effective. Versus, if we are jumping from one thing to the other, what happened before, what's going to happen next, we lose out a lot in being as effective and as present in the moment and that could bring a lot of difference in our productivity and our effectiveness to the task that is at hand. So that's why I said, it's 3 minutes, check in with yourself to be more present and productive at what you're doing. So like I said, between meetings is something this tool is very powerful. It's very simple, but that's what, in today's day and age, simple things don't look so exciting. That's why we don't do it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I would say, yeah, prior to doing the exercise, there was a lot of thoughts running through my mind. And after just taking the time to slow down, my mind was also able to slow down and not have so many thoughts kind of intrude my space. And I could see how that would be productive to your day, to really see what matters. Um, it's quite surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess this is one of the many things you guys do with wellness curators as well as Spring Health when you touch with the AAP programs that you offer.
Right. Yes. And along with that, what we are, as wellness curators, what we are looking at achieving in few months' time, and we've already kind of started that journey, is providing strategies for small to medium-sized enterprises and organizations for their employees' well-being. And how we typically would want to do that is not like coming in and doing one small little workshop and then going away, but providing that support year round by having like touch points on every quarter, and then supporting the employees with one-on-one counseling sessions as and when needed. So more taking more of a holistic approach rather than just coming in and fixing, like for example, talking about stress management in isolation. I mean, there are tons of other resources online that one can go and look into it. But what really matters, and I think in mental health and well-being journey, is really walking the journey alongside your clients or the individuals, because we all have the information, but we need somebody to push us to get to do it and have the accountability that so that you can achieve your goals.
Hey there, amazing listeners. Before we dive deeper in today's insightful conversation, I want to take a quick moment to give a shout out to the driving force behind this podcast, my very own mental health focused creative production agency, Calvin Wong Media. As you know, creating wellness moments is all about exploring the depths of the human psyche and fostering personal growth. And guess what? It would not be possible if it were not for Calvin Wong Media. We conceptualize, humanize, and bring your story to life using unique storytelling techniques that engages the audience. So, the next time you're inspired by an episode or find yourself engaged in a thought-provoking conversation here, remember, that's the result of the support of Calvin Wong Media and its lovely kinds. If you're looking to amplify your message, tell your story with authenticity, and connect with your audience on a deeper level, reach out to us at calvinwongmedia.com. Now back to the conversation on creating wellness moments.
Yeah, I think in the day and age we live in, we all know that mental health and being more mindful is important. However, we just don't spend the time to really do these exercises because we feel like it might be a hassle. Even 3 minutes, we don't find the time to make 3 minutes until someone guides you along and shows you and sees that these are things that could really change my life. And having that someone to kind of guide you and kind of get you in the habit of it, really, I think that's what makes the biggest impact, rather than just saying stress is not good and this is how you manage.
Yeah, I mean, we could be talking about it, but then, you need to equip the people with the right tools. And rightfully, everybody is so busy, you need to give them like small, effective tools. I call them the nuggets, wellness nuggets, that you need to have in your toolkit. And then, and you also it kind of goes hand in hand, raising awareness, psychoeducation, and giving the right tools back through experiential workshops, and something that we just did in barely 3 minutes. When you experience it yourself, that is it's effective, and how you can incorporate in your life is something that we guide people through.
That's great. Yeah, I'm sure you have a lot of remarkable stories from these programs you've done. Can you share a few with us?
Right. What I've come across typically for people in the corporate world, because it is so stressful, and especially people at senior positions, what they struggle with is sleep. And again, a very simplistic tool, but an underutilized one. It's called the body scan. It's one of the mindfulness-based practices. It's again, getting in touch with your body, but it's slightly longer, wherein it eases you out and brings that sense of calm and helps you transition into sleeping better. So I have about few cases wherein people have where my clients have benefited from a sustained body scan practice that helps them ease into sleeping. Now, body scan has two uses, I would say, in two different contexts. Like if you're doing it sitting, you build more awareness and focus. But if you're doing it while lying down, it helps you ease into sleep. So that's one very remarkable achievement, I would say, in the sense of easing out the sleep issues with the clients, and how mindfulness has come handy over there. The mindfulness coaching that I do through the sessions, it's been very effective for a lot of my clients.
Excellent. Yeah, I
And
think. Sorry.
yeah, and just the 3-minute breathing space that we just did has it's I've had clients reporting that, especially when they're new to a job, they're in and out of meetings, they're meeting new people, and that kind of brings up some bit of anxiety, and how 3 minutes breathing space has helped them calm down and just be more present and be more effective in the meetings. So yeah, those are two, and we just did one practice. The body scan is a longer practice, which of course we can't do here because of constraint of time. But that's something that's available online. If any of you would like to use it and try it, especially if you're struggling with sleep, I would highly recommend trying the body scan for sleep in particular.
Yeah. How long is the body scan typically? How long is that exercise?
12 to 15 minutes.
12 to 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah, that's yeah, I would say in this industry and with the corporates and the stresses, most of us don't get quality sleep. We might get sleep, but not the quality kind. And how would you say, the difference between just getting sleep and quality sleep has an impact on the productivity and our overall well-being?
I mean, I would say it has it has the maximum correlation, and even for that matter, your diet has a direct relation with your sleep quality, and so I would say it's tiered. Your diet and nutrition, your sleep, and then your productivity. So it kind of, you can't miss any link in between, and reach the final goal, which is good sleep, just by using the mindfulness tool. So it has to be holistic. One has to be aware and mindful again in what are we doing in the other two areas, where in terms of our diet, and are we adhering to a sleep routine? Do we have a set time to go to bed or not? And are we able to disengage? A lot of times it's not possible because people are working different time zones. But then when we really switch off and it's time to go to bed, what is the sleep hygiene that we are maintaining? Are we on the phone all the time, browsing, looking at TikTok, looking at Instagram, or is it just a hard stop, and then you set aside 10 minutes, 15 minutes for mindfulness-based practice like body scan, which helps you ease into sleep, and that also helps in having a good quality sleep. So it goes hand in hand. If you're not eating well, you won't be able to get good quality sleep as well. And we all know, I mean, there's enough data to prove that if your sleep quality is not good, you won't be as productive and effective at work or the things that you need to do in life in general.
Yeah, it's
And
quite.
eventually it could even lead to some kind of mental health issues. Anxiety, depression has a correlation with both lack of proper nutrition and lack of proper sleep. It does predisposes a person to all of these mental health concerns in the future if they're not attended to at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we live in quite a knowledge-based society that we've all kind of determined that everything is quite needs to be a holistic approach. It's not just one thing or the other. And so in terms of that, how would you say you could collaborate if organizations wanted to collaborate with wellness creators or Spring Health? How would they get in touch with you guys to make some sort of partnership to benefit their employees?
So we have a website that you can reach out to us through, and the phone numbers that are available online. And typically, we would work with the organizations, not just, like I said, a one-off thing. We want to handhold the organizations and their employees in their well-being journey. So it could start off with doing an introduction workshop where we touch upon all the dimensions of wellness that are important to an individual in workspace, and what are the gap, and help them identify in that the preliminary workshop, also somewhere to set the baseline. What are the gaps and how they can overcome those gaps through our assistance, wherein we come in every quarter and touch upon all those different dimensions of well-being in a very focused manner, and give the employees or the organizations the relevant tools to work on that in those areas. And then by the end of the year, you already have achieved your wellness goals and have been equipped with the tools to move ahead in your well-being journey. But along the way, not everybody has the same kind of baseline. Somebody might need extra help, extra support, and for that there are these individual sessions, counseling sessions that are offered, and that could help bridge the bigger gap if there may be for any particular employees. And when we talk about the different dimensions of well-being over a year, over a span of year, so every quarter there's a workshop on the 4 different dimensions that we try to touch upon, primarily being physical, mental, emotional, and social. And these are the areas that are most relevant to the people in the workspace. So we take them step by step from physical to social. So physical, mental, emotional, and social are the areas that are covered every quarter. And then by the end of it, you have like a holistic plan and a holistic toolkit to fall back upon. And then for individualized support, we're always there in terms of one-on-one counseling.
Excellent. So at the moment, I know that with our current landscape in the workplace, it is slowly being accepted for mental wellness, and stigma is kind of lessening right now. So where do you see the future of the workplace and how the mental wellness and approach will be kind of integrated into these companies?
It's already, like you said, it's getting a lot of traction. A lot of organizations are far ahead, and I would say in a lot of sense, they are setting the examples right, wherein organizations are blocking out 2 hours or like half a day as mental health day, where it's like a town hall, but for mental health and well-being, where people are coming in talking about what are the challenges they faced, and how did they overcome. So they're learning from each other's experiences. So making this narrative a part of our daily lives is something that a lot of organizations have started to do. A lot have to catch up on. So the first thing I would say has to be on normalizing, these conversations about mental health. So back in the days, people used to hide a lot of things about their physical illnesses. But then it slowly and gradually, more we talked about it, more normalized it became to talk about your health. Likewise, I think we are at the same stage where the conversations have started, but it's not been normalized yet. So the more the organizations kind of facilitate that amongst their employees, the more normalized it would become. And then the next step would be having strategies in place, having basically, a more focused team that looks at employee mental health and well-being. So right now, a lot of organizations are leaving this work on the HR team. HR is already so loaded with work, but having a focused team that looks at employee mental health and well-being is something that we would see in times to come. Again, a lot of organizations already have that, but still, there are a lot that don't. So, and it won't be just for the bigger giants. Even smaller organizations will take steps. So in the West, this is very normal, but it's catching up in the East as well, where insurance companies, the package that they offer to organizations for their employees are including mental health and well-being counseling sessions in the insurance benefits that they can, that the employees can get access to. So these shifts we'll start to see the shifts sooner than later. And especially in Singapore also, I know that there are talks. AIA is already have some benefits that they offer to the organizations for their employee health insurance. But this is going to become mainstream in times to come. So then one doesn't need to think about the expense or the extra expense that one needs to, bear right now, because yes, therapy session typically could be an expensive affair if you're going for a private therapist. But when the whole system or the government is ensuring that there are systems even incorporated in the workplace, that's when more and more people will come out and seek help. And not just help, but really look at taking that preventive approach as well. Like how AIA, I know they have certain packages where they encourage people to sign up for gym, and then they give the extra points and all of those things. So likewise, taking care of your mental health with some little bit of perks here and there will also encourage people to really ease out and get rid of the stigma that's attached to it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And it's nice to see AIA and other organizations taking these steps forward. But as individuals in the workplace, what can we do personally to help move these, essentially streamline this change so we're able to have a better future in terms of mental wellness?
Yeah, that's a very good point, that you made. And I'd like to quote that every change begins with yourself first. So if we want to see a larger impact or a change at a systemic level, while the organizations, the governments, and the agencies are doing all of this, we need to, as individuals, and each one of us have to also take up the responsibility to be more open, be more accountable of our own mental health, and really coming out and talking about it. So even in the workplace context, be more like a mental health advocate. So either for yourself or a coworker, if you stand up for yourself or someone else, that sets an example for a lot of others that are looking at you or are in your immediate environment. So taking your own individual responsibility is also very, very important. So till the time we don't voice it out, nobody kind of pays attention and maybe doesn't even think about it, that it's an important thing to have at workplace, like a mental health and well-being strategy. So yeah, I think all of us need to first feel comfortable and normal to talk about our own mental health concerns or achievements, because when we share what we overcame, it gives the encouragement to the other person to also open up and seek help.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually, someone I've met recently, they actually have ADHD, and they informed their employer just to let them know, this is a condition I have, and these are kind of the tendencies, and they're able to kind of coordinate with him and able to facilitate and as well as work better due to having the knowledge that he has ADHD. And if someone were, a bit afraid or to be vulnerable about that, then the employer may be thinking that he's lazy or whatever things that might come with ADHD, right?
Yeah. So it has to be an integrated, it has to be, both sides have to kind of come together, the individual as well as the organization and the larger policies from the government side. And so things have started to happen, but it's now about coming together, and seeing the change happen slowly and gradually.
Of course, yeah, we cannot just rely on the big corporates and individuals. We all have the power to make impact, and so we all have to take the first step, right? So before we wrap up, I really want to thank you for coming on the show today, Shruti. If people wanted to know more about wellness curators, where can they go to find out more?
You can reach out to us through our website, which is wellness-curators.com. Alternatively, you can reach out to us through our Instagram handle as well, which is wellness.curators. So we're available to you from any of these platforms. And there are phone numbers as well on the website, and you can directly get in touch, or there is a small inquiry form which you can fill in and reach out to us.
Awesome. Thank you so much being on the show today. I just wanted to let everyone know, let's create more wellness moments together. Have a great day.
For sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kelvin, for having me on the show. It's been great talking to you.